Wealthy individuals conceal their assets through strategic layers and structures, not just secrecy. While many associate wealth with ownership, the reality is that the rich protect their money by building defenses. Today, we'll explore their methods and how you can apply them. Owning property in your name can pose serious legal risks, making it a liability rather than an asset. This exposure is especially pronounced for landlords, as lawsuits can threaten personal savings and investments. Wealthy individuals often mitigate these risks by holding properties through legal entities like limited liability companies, LLCs, which create a buffer between personal assets and business-related liabilities. In addition, many affluent people utilize land trusts to maintain the privacy of their property ownership. The owner's identity remains confidential, as the property is placed into a land trust, with the trustee's name appearing on public records. This strategy was famously employed by Disney, which helped them keep land acquisitions secret during the development of Walt Disney World. Moreover, owning property through an LLC offers tax advantages. LLCs benefit from pass-through taxation, which avoids the double taxation faced by corporations. They also allow owners to deduct various expenses, including maintenance costs and travel related to the property, significantly reducing taxable income. Another critical strategy for asset protection is obscurity. The less visible your assets, the harder they are to target. By structuring ownership through multiple private entities, prominent figures like Sam Walton made it difficult to trace ownership back to an individual, creating a layer of strategic invisibility. The wealthy also leverage holding companies. These entities own various businesses and assets without being involved in day-to-day operations, much like Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. This structure limits exposure, because if one subsidiary faces legal trouble, the assets of the other subsidiaries remain protected. Anonymous ownership and asset protection. Affluent individuals often employ anonymous ownership strategies to enhance their safety and confidentiality regarding their assets. This is typically achieved through mechanisms like nominee directors or offshore entities designed to shield their identities. By layering these strategies, it becomes increasingly complex for anyone to link assets directly to their actual owners. Such anonymity protects privacy and helps mitigate risks associated with potential legal disputes or unwanted attention. Income-generating properties and ownership structure. Owning income-generating properties outright can introduce a multitude of tax and legal challenges. The income produced from these properties may elevate an individual's taxable income, pushing them into higher tax brackets, which could lead to significantly increased tax liabilities. To avoid these complications, affluent individuals often structure their property ownership through limited liability companies, LLCs. This approach facilitates valuable tax deductions, such as those for depreciation and operating expenses, and limits personal liability in case of legal issues related to the property. Consequently, crafting the proper structure for property ownership isn't merely advantageous. It is a crucial mechanism for financial protection and strategic estate planning. Borrowing discreetly, without personal exposure. Wealthy individuals have developed sophisticated methods of borrowing that allow them to utilize their assets without publicly disclosing their names. By leveraging the power of LLCs or trusts, they can borrow against various assets like stock portfolios, real estate, and other investments, while avoiding needing a personal guarantee. These transactions often take the form of non-recourse loans, where the lender accepts the asset as collateral rather than the borrower's financial commitment. A prominent example is Elon Musk, who has borrowed billions against his Tesla stock. This method provides him with immediate liquidity, without necessitating the sale of shares or incurring capital gains taxes, demonstrating a strategic approach to wealth management. Strategies for divorce-proofing assets. Divorce can result in substantial financial upheaval, and the wealthy increasingly know the need for preemptive strategies to safeguard their assets. They often employ prenuptial agreements, irrevocable trusts, and separate legal entities to fortify their financial security. For example, by placing assets in a trust before marriage, these individuals can establish them as legally separate property, rendering them immune from division in the event of a divorce. This practice does not signify a lack of faith in a marriage, but rather illustrates a prudent approach to protecting one's built wealth against unforeseen circumstances. passive asset ownership through LLCs. Limited liability companies, LLCs, provide a strategic vehicle for high-value asset ownership, allowing individuals to remain passive owners while avoiding direct involvement in daily operations. For instance, if someone invests in a property group but prefers to keep their name out of public records, they can participate through an LLC. This structure permits them to collect rental income, claim necessary tax deductions, and maintain a higher degree of privacy. The wealthy are particularly drawn to this arrangement, as it delivers the rewards of ownership without the associated exposure that could invite scrutiny or risk. Charging order protection for asset security. Certain states in the U.S., notably Wyoming, Nevada, and Delaware, offer substantial protections for assets through a legal provision known as charging order protection. This mechanism ensures that if a creditor successfully sues an LLC member, they cannot directly seize the LLC's assets. Instead, creditors can only wait for the LLC to make distributions to the member in the future. This limitation is a deterrent to frivolous lawsuits, granting individuals the necessary breathing room for negotiation or settlement. Wealthy individuals frequently form companies in these states to secure the best possible defense against potential claims. Secret wealth transfers using land trusts. Another strategic approach that the wealthy utilize is the transfer of property, ownership through land trusts. This lesser-known tactic allows individuals to assign the beneficial interest of a land trust, effectively transferring the value of real estate without generating public records of the transaction. Such confidentiality can be advantageous in contexts like estate planning, inheritance, or business transitions. For instance, a parent can seamlessly transfer a property to their child via a land trust, preventing the local tax assessor from recognizing it as a taxable sale and thus avoiding potential tax liabilities. Avoiding asset-based discrimination. The reality is that when others become aware of an individual's wealth, it can lead to inflated prices, altered loan terms, and differential treatment. By maintaining discretion about their financial standing, affluent individuals can navigate markets more equitably, sparing themselves from the biases and judgments often accompanying visible wealth. This strategic invisibility allows for fairer interactions in various scenarios, including real estate purchases, contract negotiations, and permit applications. By preserving their privacy, they protect themselves from exploitation and ensure a more balanced approach in financial dealings. Flexibility in LLC partnerships. LLCs are not solely beneficial for solo entrepreneurs. They also provide remarkable flexibility for partnerships. Individuals can customize ownership percentages, profit distributions, and management roles according to the specific agreement with their partners. This adaptability enables multiple investors to collaborate while safeguarding their unique interests. For example, two friends purchasing a property can form an LLC, where one holds a 70% stake while the other has 30%. This setup ensures that both parties receive proportionate profits while also affording them protection from personal liability if unforeseen issues arise, creating a workable partnership and a secure one. The wealthy use legal structures, anonymity, and strategic planning to protect and grow their assets. They often conceal ownership through paperwork and trusts, treating it like a chess game, always thinking ahead. The good news is that you don't need to be a millionaire to start. Forming an LLC is affordable, and learning about trusts isn't overly complex. By establishing the right foundations early, you can manage your wealth wisely and gain peace of mind for the future.